ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a first look and first impression of something that's going to change the way you've used a billet box before. You'll obviously have seen that Odis has posted that they are launching a new bridge for the billet box, and it's called the BOXXER, and I was lucky enough to get a prototype for testing, and I really wanted to do a first look and first impression on it, obviously hence the video. So let's get rid of all that. Hello, those who don't know me, I'm Craig Big Guy Stewart, owner of Sir Vape, or one of the owners of Sir Vape in Durban, South Africa. Avid vapor, I've been vaping for about 10 years now. I do have a YouTube channel which you'll obviously be seeing this on, and I asked JD if I could please do a first look, first impression of the prototype BOXXER for the billet box. Obviously we've been testing it for them, and it's almost close to actually being released in its final version, so obviously the advertising's out, and no one's done a video yet, so I really wanted to do one. Just remember folks that this is a prototype, and although the product will look very similar, obviously the aesthetics will be totally different because of refinement, etc. So what you're seeing is what you're going to be getting, but obviously the final product will be highly refined, as all Odis products are. So what we're really going to do here now is I'm just going to jump in, show you the user manual, then I'm going to show you how to put a coil in and how the whole setup works, and then we'll jump back up top and then we'll have a vape on it, and I'll give you my opinions on it, pros and cons. So yeah, let's get the ball rolling. Well, I thought before we actually put a coil in, let's actually have a look, go through the user manual that'll come with your BOXXER. It's quite a comprehensive user manual. I'm not going to go through every single solitary page in depth, but it obviously will show you how to actually physically use your BOXXER. Anybody who is an experienced vapor will pick it up quite quickly how to use it. It's not a hard product to use in any manner. Funny enough, it's actually one of the easiest products that I've used when it comes to a billet box. Very simplistic in its design, but perfectly executed. This is obviously the front page of your user manual. We get to the second page of the user manual. This is basically how the BOXXER is made up. You do get spare accessories, O-rings, seals, grub screws. The nice bonus is there's that Odis have actually put in an Odis engraved stainless steel firing button for your billet box, which is really nice. And these are obviously the various components that make up the entire BOXXER. Page 3. This is quite a unique thing. Those who have owned billet boxes before and used the different bridges that are available, the hardest problem, or the biggest problem, was firing your coil before actually inserting it into your borrow tank. Until the one came along, it was quite hard to actually do. This contraption here, which I will show you in the up close and personal of the device, is used to preheat your coil and make sure it's obviously burning or heating up evenly on a external, either a build station that's got a firing mechanism function, or on a regulated device. Very clever and ingenious product. Just obviously what it's made up of. Also the nice thing is they show you how to do put a coil in, really simplistic manner in which putting a coil, if you've ever used any form of RDA before, or RTA, you know, 2 grub screws holding a coil in place, positioning of a coil, etc. Very, very simplistic, but obviously if you haven't done it before, it's quite easy to see. They also, this is the BOXXER in its pre-firing housing. I don't know what the right word you want to call it, but the pre-firing housing, which you will then screw onto a regulated mod or a firing stand to get your coil up heated nicely. So it just shows you how it fits in there. And then we've got how to do your cotton. Obviously the scenario is that this is an RDTA, so a rebuildable, drippable atomizer, okay, for the better word. And the jury's still out whether to have long wick or short wick. I've tried both and both work, but it's really up to you to mess around and play with until you find what you like. And I think that's all. The rest I think is just wait, sorry, there was one more. This obviously just shows you how to fill the BOXXER once it's already in your billet box. So if you run out of juice, how to fill it. Probably that's the only downfall that I have with the product, is that it's not everybody's carrying a screwdriver when they're out to fill it up. But in saying that, I used the key the other day and a key worked fine to open it and close it. What else is left in here? That's it. Enjoy the BOXXER experience. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to show you how to put a coil in. Well, let's show you what it actually looks like in person. Just remember, folks, this is a prototype. The finished product will look like this, but obviously vastly refined. This was just sent to us so that we could do a little bit of testing on it and see if there was any issues with it. There were a couple of issues that were found, which have all been rectified now, but I'm still sitting with the old prototype waiting for the actual release product to arrive. But that's what you get in the box. Okay, obviously this is your the actual BOXXER itself, okay, which comes apart in a couple of pieces. Your top cap, which just slides off. It does have a, let me just focus in a little bit more here so that you guys can see that better. Just give me 2 seconds to focus. This obviously fits in on top of the glass like that, over there. Okay, it's got a groove that is cut out where your glass fits in over there. This is not 100% focused. Let me just try and focus it a little bit more closer. There, wow, that's better. So you can see there's this little groove over here where your glass fits into. So that's your top cap for the BOXXER. You then actually got the BOXXER itself, okay, glass slides out. The actual physical tank, it's over there. Okay, obviously, as I said again, this is a prototype. The machining is not the best quality. The finished product obviously will be super refined, as all the Odis products are. Okay, you've obviously got your two positive and negative post with some really nice chunky O-rings. Not O-rings, sorry, grub screws. Some really nice chunky ones. Let me take that out there. Okay, you've got your airflow over there, goes all the way down to the bottom. If I swing it around, goes through the chamber and gets intake there. You obviously can adjust your airflow accordingly to where you want, how you want it. Okay, that's there. Measurements say that this holds 5 mils of juice, where your average Borrow box I think held 2.7 to 3 mils of juice, depending on which bridge you had in there. Okay, so there's the top. You can see that the airflow is off center. Okay, that's obviously purely because of where it's got to go through and where it's got to line up to your drip tip. Okay, so that's the deck. Okay, this obviously with your 510 at the end of the day is gold plated on the final version. The little screw over here, which, let me get a screwdriver out, is what you undo to fill the tank, and I'll show you how to do that. Let We just do put it on the ground and unscrew it. Oh, why is that not unscrewing? My screwdriver seems to be broken. No, there we are. It is protected with an O-ring, so it doesn't leak. So that's for your juice. Then we've got your firing housing, okay, which has obviously got a 510 pin on it, which you can see this moves in and out, okay. This is takes the whole device into it, fits into it nice and slots into it, and then screws onto a regulated mod to fire your coil to get it burning evenly. So yeah, let me pause it there quickly and get it ready to put a coil in. Well, I'm back now. I'm going to put a coil in it. I'm using a fused Clapton from Bubble Wraps, which is a 2.5mm nichrome 80 coil, okay, in there, and I'm going to be using titanium fiber cotton. Okay, there's the coil, 2.5mm ID. I'm going to put that through. Really simplistic. Put the coil in like that over your airflow. Simply push the wires in between the two slots. I like to take the grub screws out totally. It just makes it a little bit easier to work with. Some people don't like that. And see, dropping the grub screws all over the place. And then you just simply fasten it down. Don't tighten it the whole way, just because I need to manipulate the coil a little bit. Put the second one in. Okay, so you can see where the coil is placed. Okay, ideally you wanted to get it right above your airflow, so I've just got to move it around a little bit, hence me not tightening things up totally. Where's my pliers? I just want to pull this lead over slightly like that. What I do then, I just bend it up and I give it a good old tighten now on that side. Now you can see the coil is positioned almost exactly above the airflow. Let me just move it over a little bit more. There. Let me just tighten the other lead now. What I found is you need to keep it around about 2 mils. Is that out of focus now? No. What I found here with the coil, if you can look through there, okay, is I'm keeping it about 2 mils above the airflow. That's where I found the happy spot to be. Okay, so you position it over the airflow and about 2 mils above the airflow. That's where I found the right place for the positioning from a flavor perspective. Just make sure to trim your leads off nice and neatly along the sides, especially on this side. Okay, and this side being the open side, where the glass is going to slide, because it is quite a flat surface and you don't want any wire there to catch the glass when you're putting it in. So what I tend to do is I just tend to bend any excess coil over to the side, and you'll see there is a little bit of a groove on the side over here where you can bend any excess wire off into the groove. Okay, so that's how easy it was to put a coil in. It took all a grand total of about 2 minutes. So what happens from here? Now what happens is this fits inside of your firing housing, simply like that. Let me just get a mod. I'm just using a regulated mod. Screw it in to the mod, and then you fire it like you would normally do it. Obviously I'm working, let me focus this in a little bit more. Sorry folks, I'm not used to doing reviews, but let me, no, that's gone too bright. Let me try and focus this there. and then you just get your coil make sure you've got no hot spots. There we are. Coils come out to 0.37 ohms. Okay, obviously I'm firing it at 40 watts here. I should have maybe put it a little bit lower. But there you can see the baby's firing nicely. So that's what the housing is used for. Housing is used, that firing housing is used to get your coil burning all equally. Let me focus that out again. So now you can just let it pop out of the housing, and there she's ready to go, ready to put cotton in. Okay, simple and easy. Okay, so let's put some cotton in here now. As I said, I'm using titanium fiber. I'm just getting a piece ready here. And put it through. Okay, a way to measure it here, in the box they say put it to the bottom, which you can do. An easy way to measure where the bottom is just take the cotton, fold it over to the back. Okay, if it doesn't touch the bottom, if you can see it over here, you can see when I folded it over, it just reaches the bottom there, which means it's long enough on that side, so I don't have to trim anything. On the front, you do exactly the same. So I actually cut perfect amount of cotton off. So there you've got your cotton. Just get rid of any little excess pieces. I do tend to fluff it out just ever so slightly. Okay, that's purely just to get rid of any loose pieces of cotton, like that. Now what you do is you just grab the ends, push it in the hole. The bonus of doing it this way is that you can still grab the cotton on the inside, and you just give it a gentle tug in the inside. There you are, all the way to the bottom. All the way to the bottom. Perfect. You obviously do not, you want to make sure that those wicking holes have got enough cotton in, but obviously not too much cotton where it's totally blocked up, because then you might stand the chance of a dry hit, although I've never had one, and I had put quite a serious amount of cotton in it. Okay, obviously also, if you can look on the camera there, you do not want any cotton covering your airflow underneath there, so just make sure that it goes directly into the hole and towards the bottom there. Okay, so there she's wicked up, grand total of also about a minute. Let me find a juice. What juice am I going to put in here tonight? Where's my juice? I'm going to put my trusty VCT from Ripe Vapes. Okay. Obviously there's two ways that you can fill it. I just find the first time that I'm doing it, I just fill it up as it stands there. I just drop a whole lot of juice in there. Make sure it gets nice and saturated. The juice can't go anywhere now besides saturating the cotton. Filling it up. And you just let that sit and saturate the cotton. Obviously you've still got the screw in place there, which you haven't put back, so I need to put that screw back. That screw just fits in there, and you tighten it. Give that a nice little tighten. I did a little bit of spilling over there. Let me just clean that up. Okay, so there is it filled. What I then do is I grab the glass, okay, and I slide the glass into place. The glass does have a groove on it, so you need to make sure you're putting it in the right way. That's the wrong way. There, glass fits in like that. So you can see there now. You can see that the coil has already started saturating. So you can put a little bit of extra juice on there if you want, just to make sure it's totally saturated. Like that. what happens then is your top cap comes into place. This top cap just slides over into those grooves like that. So you can see now that it's a full unit, and that just slides into your billet box like that. And screw in your drip tip, which locks everything in place. Sorry, I've got a bit of juice on my hands. That locks everything in place. Stupid me, I don't have a battery in it. Oh, and that's not the right battery to put in there. Put a battery in. And billet box. So let's see what she's reading. Reading 0.32 ohms at 35 watts. Let's just make sure the airflow, I like wide open airflow. I like a non-restrictive lung hit. Oops, yeah, when it's too far. Open the airflow full, because that's the way I like it. What I have noticed, which on this device compared to the other ones, there's not a lot of condensation whatsoever, and I think that's because of being a top mounted coil. There's not a lot of condensation from this device at all, so the use of a condensation plug is not necessary in my opinion. So let's put the cap on and go up top and have a vape. Well, I hope you found that useful. As you can see, Odis have knocked it out the park. Totally unique. This is going to change the way billet box vaping. I don't see how anybody is going to top this, in my opinion. Pretty much tried most of the bridges that are available, and nothing compares, in my opinion. Obviously, the product that you saw was a prototype, and it has been highly refined by Odis. That's really what it looks like in my billet box and my little nugget here. As you would have seen, got it at 35, well, that's camera's not focused, 35 watts, 0.33 ohms. Yeah, absolutely blown away by the product. Obviously there have been quite a few changes that have been made to the overall product, just from an aesthetics perspective, and obviously refinement, as I've already mentioned. The vape on this is really unique. I like a ever so slightly restricted lung hit, which I get from a billet box, but with the previous bridges it was just too restrictive for me until this came along. Obviously, with being able to adjust the airflow accordingly, increases this quite dramatically, in my opinion. You're really only limited by the size intake on the side of the billet box, from preventing you to get even more air if you do like those direct lung hits. As I said, the coil that I settled on eventually was a 2.5mm, either fused Clapton or Alien. I just felt that gave it enough area in that chamber to get really good flavor out of it. Vapor production is also really up there compared to the other bridges. Obviously, if you go to the total opposite scale, where you're vaping at the maximum wattage of your billet box, whether it be a 40 watt or a 60 watt, and you're putting your bigger coils in. As I said earlier, we did put a 5-core Alien in, and we vaped it at maximum wattage, 60 watts, produced a ton of vapor. Flavor was on point, but obviously billet boxes, most people who use billet boxes like them for their battery life, using it at low wattages, hence myself settling on a 2.5mm fused Clapton or Alien, 0.3 ohms, vaping at 35 watts, and I'm in my happy place. Let me take a vape on it. As you can see, the vapor production beats any other bridge that's out there for the billet box. flavor, as I said, I've probably vaped 10 liters of VCT in my lifetime. Just probably my most favorite juice of all time. So VCT, if you, or Ripe Vapes, if you see this, I'm your biggest fan. Send me a liter, please. But in here, and as I've said, I've tasted the juice on any and every device. I tend to stick to my squonker type devices, your small 22mm RDAs, and this gives it exactly the same flavor. There is not a budge or a change in the flavor profiles and notes at the same wattage on a squonker. So Odis, you have knocked it out the park with this. I wish you the best of luck with this product. I think it's going to fly off the shelves. I give this, from a device perspective, a 9.8 out of 10. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, well done, guys. So guys, if you want to rejuvenate or bring that Billet box out of the cupboard because you got tired of those stupid bridges that were available, go get yourself a BOXXER from Odis. I think they're going to go live in 6 or 7 weeks. You'll be able to purchase them, as far as I know. And as price wise, I think they're going to be around the 110, 120 US dollars, round about there. I stand to be corrected, so at around about that mark. You won't go wrong. For what you're getting, you're not going to go wrong, and it'll rejuvenate that Billet box craze. So Odis, well done on this. Really impressed. I hope the video does help those people to want to buy this, because absolutely epic, absolutely epic. Thank you very much for allowing me to do the prototype testing. I really appreciate it, and you'll definitely be getting my business. Thanks, guys.